Let's take a look at the essential hardware features of SEQTRAK, focusing on the rechargeable battery, the built-in speaker, as well as tips on powering up, battery level checking, and managing the auto power-off feature for a seamless creative experience. To turn SEQTRAK on, simply connect the USB power adapter or have the batteries charged and ready to go. Once this is all set, hold the Power Play button to turn on SEQTRAK, and you can do the same to turn it off. And if you're not sure what your battery level is, you can hold down the All knob and press the Power Play button. This will show the battery level on the global meter. Note that when the battery is in use, the LED will be white. And when the battery is charging, the LED will be cyan blue until the battery reaches its full charge. When fully charged, the LED will be white. Once SEQTRAK is powered on, you can simply hit the Power Play button to play a sequence on SEQTRAK. And the sound will play directly out of the built-in speaker when no other audio output sources are connected to the device. Also noting that SEQTRAK has an auto power off feature that will turn the power off after not being operated for 30 minutes. You can disable this feature by turning off the SEQTRAK and holding the lower left key while powering the unit back on. And to re-enable auto power off, hold the second key while the unit is powering on. Let's dive into managing projects on SEQTRAK. In this part, we'll explore how to select and save projects within the 8 available slots, as well temporarily saving recent changes, and adjusting parameters such as volume, tempo, and swing. On the right side of SEQTRAK, there's a button labeled Project. To select a project, hold this button down, and you'll see the top row of drum buttons light up. There are 8 projects to choose from, and all you need to do is select one to select a project. SEQTRAK comes stocked with 3 factory preset projects saved in the first 3 projects, and the 5 following projects are empty, allowing you to create and save your own original projects. For now, let's choose the first factory preset project. Once this is opened up, we hit the play button to start playback. We can adjust the master volume with these buttons on the left side of SEQTRAK. Note that by holding the button, this will continue to change the value. We can adjust the tempo with these buttons on the right side of SEQTRAK. And note that when you press BPM plus and BPM minus simultaneously, the tempo value resets to the original tempo it had when you first opened the project. And we can even enable and disable a metronome by holding the All knob and pressing the BPM plus button. The swing can be adjusted right here as well with this button on the right side of SEQTRAK. Simply press the button to adjust the swing level. You can see the swing level appear on the global meter. And here's a quick tip. Simply hold Delete and press Swing to set the swing value back to 0. And saving a project with these changes is even more simple. SEQTRAK has an auto-save feature, so any changes you make to a project is automatically saved from the moment you make your most recent change. So, if your SEQTRAK powers off, or you accidentally jump to a new project, no worries. Your project will be saved from where you left off. Deleting a project is also possible. Simply hold the Project button, hold the Delete button, and then choose the project of your choice to delete. This will create a new and empty project for you to create with. And here is an incredibly helpful feature, Temporary Project Save and Reload. This feature allows you to save a project temporarily at a very specific moment, and then revert your project setting to this moment, after any moment of changes you make. Please note that this temporary project save is deleted once you select another project or the SEQTRAK is powered off. To do this, press Project and the yellow drum key to save the current setting to the temporary area. Note that if there is temporarily saved data, it glows light blue, as this is where you reload the previously saved project. You can experiment with any creative ideas you'd like and jump back to the previously saved point at any moment, allowing you to be as free with your creativity as you'd like, without the fear of losing your project settings. And also, if you save during playback, playback will stop. So make sure to perform this function when you intend to stop playback. Let's take a look at making a track pattern, a process of creating a pattern that you can easily play back on SEQTRAK. SEQTRAK offers you 11 tracks to work with, including 7 drum tracks, 2 synth tracks, a DX track, and a sampler track. Let's get started with selecting and auditioning tracks in SEQTRAK. We currently have this project open, and I can simply press a knob to select a track in SEQTRAK. You'll also notice that when I press the knob, the sound is also auditioned, allowing me to hear the chosen sound of the track. And each track in this project already has a variety of patterns created. To change the pattern of each track, I can simply turn the knob of the track, and it will change between the 3 available patterns shown on the LED. And I can also quantize this pattern change while the sequence is playing back, to keep my pattern changes in beat with the music. There are actually 2 ways to do this. I can either push and hold the button while turning it, or I can push and hold a knob and select a white drum key to choose either of the 3 available patterns. You'll also notice that some of these patterns are lit in blue. The reason these are blue is because these are deactivated patterns can also choose from, giving us 6 patterns in total. To enable these patterns, simply choose any of the blue patterns, and this will enable patterns 4 through 6 to enable, allowing you to save and select up to 6 patterns. And to deactivate these patterns again and return to 3 enabled patterns, simply press the 4th, 5th, and 6th key simultaneously. And as for the quantized pattern change, we can adjust the launch quantization of these changes as well. Simply hold the Project button and turn the All knob, and you'll see the lights on the keys are adjusting. The amount of lights lit up are the amount of steps this is quantized to. The default is set to 16 steps, but we can change this from a single step all the way to 8 bars of quantization. Meaning, if this is set to 64 steps, this can be considered 4 bars, or 16 quarter note beats, or 4 whole beats in 4/4 time, and it allows me to do a quantized pattern change to the length of 4 bars. And I can simply delete a pattern by holding the Delete button and pressing the knob of any track of choice. You'll see available patterns to delete light up in red, and once the track knob is pressed, the pattern is deleted. You can also do this with the All knob, deleting all of the selected patterns across all of the tracks. Note that whether you're deleting individual tracks or all of the tracks with the All knob, the Delete function only deletes the selected patterns lit up in red for each track. So, be sure to select the patterns you want to delete before holding down the Delete button. And last, we can also mute and solo individual tracks. Hold down the Mute button and press the knob of the selected tracks to mute the tracks. Once muted, the track will light up in green. And to remove all mutes, hold the Mute button and press the All knob. As for soloing a track, hold the Solo button and select any track you want to solo or unsolo. Let's explore creating a drum track sequence in SEQTRAK, where we have the option to utilize 7 drum tracks to craft our sequences. First, select the drum track you want to work on and press a drum key to write or delete notes into the pattern. And you can easily select a new drum sound as well. To cycle through different sounds, simply turn the Sound knob. And there are a variety of categories to choose from to select sounds. To select one of these categories, such as kick, snare, or hats, hold down the sound knob and press a drum key to select a sound category. Something to note about SEQTRAK is that you can assign any category of sound to any track to give you more creative freedom when creating your music. For example, you can use a tom sound into your kick track if you think it sounds great there, and so on. So keep this in mind when saving and selecting sounds within your categories. Additionally, we can modify the number of steps in a track by pressing the page button and turning the knob, which adjusts the length in increments of 16th note steps. And the number of measures is shown on the global meter, while the number of steps is shown on the drum keys. For example, 1 bar equals 16 steps. When more than 2 bars are created on a track, we can change the measures displayed on the step sequencer using the page function. From here, we can fine-tune a sound's rhythmic timing to add some additional feel by holding down the selected steps key and turning the knob of the track, adjusting between -60 to +58 ticks. We can add even more variety and subdivide a step by pressing and holding the step you want to subdivide, then selecting the number of triggers. For example, when I choose number 2, it triggers 2 times within the step. And note that in version 1.1, we have the addition of an 8th note triplet value. And last, another way to input drum notes is by doing this in real time by using the synth keys. To enter this mode, simply hold down any of the drum knobs and press a synth key. From here, you can now play drum parts with the synth keys. To return to normal mode, hold down a drum knob and press a synth key. And there you have it. You've created a pattern using SEQTRAK's drum track features. Let's take a look at sound designing our drum sounds in SEQTRAK, where you can shape and refine your drums to your needs. In this video, we'll delve into the basics of adjusting preset sounds, pitch, pan, and volume, and also explore advanced parameters such as send effects and EQ to give your drums the sonic character they deserve. First, to adjust the sound parameters of your chosen track, turn the sound design knobs. An LED will light up for the selected parameter. For example, sound, pitch, pan, or volume. And you can access more parameters by changing the page of the sound design parameter. To do this, simply press the page button, and each page shows different parameters. For example, page 1 contains sound select, pitch, pan, volume. And page 2 contains attack, decay, high-pass filter and low-pass filter cutoff frequency, high-pass filter and low-pass filter resonance. Now, to increase the amount of sound design parameters, press and hold the page button for 2 seconds. This will open the advanced parameters. The advanced mode opens up an additional page containing reverb send, delay send, EQ high, and EQ low. And pressing and holding the button again takes you back to the original mode. Let's take a look at the power of parameter lock, motion recording, step probability, and favorites in SEQTRAK. We'll take a look at how we can lock specific parameters within individual steps, such as the pitch or pan of a sound, both manually and with real-time recording. We'll also take a look at how to adjust the probability of each step triggering, and how to save your sounds as quick go-to favorite categories as well. Let's get started with parameter lock. This feature allows us to adjust the sound design and single effect parameters for each step. And you can do this for any step that is turned on. To do this, simply hold down a step on the drum keys and turn a parameter of your choice, such as the pitch. Once the parameter is adjusted to your liking, let go of the step, and you'll see the key is lit in purple. This means a parameter change is locked into this step. And you can simply repeat this function to adjust the parameter lock as you'd like for the same key, or any other step in your pattern. And note that if the parameter cannot be adjusted with parameter lock, the global meter will flash red. First, let's take a look at motion recording. To record knob movements, hold down the record button and turn the knob. Motion recording is enabled while the record button is pressed, and it begins when you start changing parameters after pressing the record button. And similar to the parameter lock, some parameters cannot be motion recorded. If that's the case, the global meter will flash red. Another helpful tip is the undo and redo function. Simply hit this button to erase and recover the last change you made to the values of your sound design and effect settings. Note that undo is one level deep, meaning you can only undo the most recently adjusted parameter. And you can undo and redo sound design parameters and effect parameters, but not sound or effect selection. And it's also possible to delete the recorded motion and parameter lock for both sound design and single effect parameters. There's two ways we can do this. One is to delete the recorded motion for a single effect across multiple steps. For example, by holding the delete button and pressing the knob of an effect. This will delete the motion recording and parameter lock on any step that this effect's motion recording is applied. And we can also delete the motion for an individual step. For example, you can hold the delete button, the step you want to delete the motion for on the drum keys, and press a knob of an effect that you recorded the motion for. This will delete the motion and parameter lock of this effect for this single step only. In version 1.1, a great feature is that steps can also be copied and pasted in a pattern, meaning the motion recorded into the step can easily be copied and pasted to other steps in your pattern. To do this, simply hold a drum key for 2 seconds until the step is copied. Then, hold the page button and press a drum key to paste the settings to a new step. Note that it is possible to copy and paste these steps to other drum tracks as well. But we cannot copy and paste steps between drum tracks and synth or sampler tracks. For example, drum tracks can only copy and paste steps to other tracks within the drums. Synths can only copy and paste within Synth 1, Synth 2, and the DX track. And the sampler can only copy and paste within the sampler track. And if different effects are chosen for each track, the effect data will not be pasted. And you can do this with patterns as well. Simply press and hold a track knob to show the pattern for this track, and hold one drum key of the selected pattern for 2 seconds to copy the pattern. And to paste the pattern, press and hold a track knob to show the track's patterns, in addition to holding the page button. While holding these, simply press a drum key to paste the copied pattern. Note that it is possible to copy and paste these patterns to other drum tracks as well. But we cannot copy and paste patterns between drum tracks and synth or sampler tracks. For example, drum patterns can only copy and paste patterns to other tracks within the drums. Synths can only copy and paste within Synth 1, Synth 2, and the DX track, and the sampler can only copy and paste within the sampler track. And let's talk about step probability. This is a feature that lets you set the chance of how often a note is played, all the way from 100% chance down to a 10% chance. To do this, hold down the key you would like to set the probability for and press the mute button. Every time you tap the mute button, the probability level is shown on the global meter. When the LED is completely filled to the top, the probability level is 100%. Thus, the sound will always play, and the lower the level, the less chance the sound will be played. Let's talk about saving sounds in SEQTRAK to easily access your favorite sounds. Saving sounds is a very helpful feature. To do this, simply press and hold the All knob and then press the Sound knob. This will save the most recent edits of the sound to your device as a favorite sound. And we can easily search for the sound by scrolling through our favorites. For example, when you favorite a drum sound, such as a kick, this will be saved as a favorite sound in your device. And once the sound is saved as a favorite, you can easily turn the sound knob to scroll through your favorite sounds. For example, once a sound is saved as a favorite, it will still remain in its own drum category, but be easily accessible as a favorite, just as it is in the SEQTRAK application. In addition, these can be managed in the SEQTRAK app as well. This includes removing saved sounds from the favorite category. Let's take a look at recording a synth track in SEQTRAK, a process of producing melodic soundscapes using SEQTRAK's built-in synthesizers, 2 tracks of AWM2 synthesizers, and 1 FM synthesizer. Learn how to record-able the sequence and seamlessly record notes in real time, giving life to your musical ideas. Let's take a look at the essentials of using the Synth and DX track on SEQTRAK. First, let's learn how to play a synth track in real time. Simply select the synth track you want to play and press a synth key. We have 7 notes to play here, and they're all in scale for us. And you can easily select a new synth sound as well. To cycle through different sounds, simply turn the sound knob. To select a sound category, such as bass, synth lead, piano, or keyboard, hold down the sound knob and press a drum key to select a sound category. Now, let's adjust the scale. Press the Scale button, and the LED will toggle through various scales available for us in SEQTRAK. Note that this setting doesn't affect recorded data, so if you've already recorded something, no worries. It won't change when you change your scales up. And, to change the root note of the scale, press the Key button to toggle through the semitone increments displayed on the LED. Want to switch up the octave? Press the Octave button and toggle through the available octaves using the LED. Now, let's explore the chord mode. Turn the second sound design knob to set mono, poly, or chord input modes. In chord mode, you can play 7 pre-assigned chords. To edit chord notes, select Chord Mode. Press the All knob and the key of the chord you want to edit. Then, use the drum keys to select up to 4 notes for your chord. Remember, this won't affect recorded data. Finally, let's record your synth performance. The record key will blink red during recording, and quantization is enabled by default to align your performance to the nearest step automatically. The Synth has a built-in step sequencer as well, similar to the step sequencer for the drum tracks. To enable this, hold Page and press the knob of the synth you want to edit in the sequencer. Simply press a drum key to add a note into the sequencer. The note added will be the last note touched on the synth keys. To add a specific note, simply hold a drum key on the sequencer, and then select a note on the synth keys. You can add multiple notes into the sequence as well, while holding down the drum key. And you can set the note length of the chosen step by holding down Step and turning the All knob. To exit the synth step sequencer mode, simply hold the Page button and press either of the synth knobs again. And note that if you turn the power of the device off, the synth will leave the step sequencer mode and return to its default mode. Also note that steps can easily be copied and pasted by holding a drum key for 2 seconds until a step is copied. Then, hold the Page button and press a drum key to paste the settings to a new step. In version 1.1, note that it is possible to copy and paste these patterns to other synth tracks as well. But we cannot copy and paste patterns between synth tracks and drum or sampler tracks. And if different effects are chosen for each track, the effect data will not be pasted. And you can do this with patterns as well. Simply hold a pattern for 2 seconds to copy the pattern. And, while holding down Page, press the pattern number with the drum key to paste it. Similar to steps in version 1.1, note that it is possible to copy and paste these patterns to other synth tracks as well. But we cannot copy and paste patterns between synth tracks and drum or sampler tracks. And if different effects are chosen for each track, the effect data will not be pasted. Let's take a look at sound designing synth sounds in SEQTRAK, where you can shape and refine your synthesizers to perfection. In this part, we'll delve into the basics of adjusting preset sounds, mono, poly, chord settings, pan, and volume, as well as explore advanced parameters such as send effects, EQ, portamento settings, arpeggio gate, and arpeggio speed to give your synths the sonic character they deserve. Let's take a look at sound designing synths in SEQTRAK. First, to adjust the sound parameters of your chosen track, turn the sound design knobs. An LED will light up for the selected parameter. For example, sound, mono poly chord, pan, or volume. And you can access more parameters by changing the page of the sound design parameter. To do this, simply press the Page button, and each page shows different parameters for Synth 1 and 2. For example, page 1 contains sound select, mono poly chord, pan, volume. And page 2 contains attack, decay, high-pass filter and low-pass filter cutoff frequency, high-pass filter and low-pass filter resonance. Now, to increase the amount of sound design parameters, press and hold the Page button for 2 seconds. This will open the Advanced Parameters. The Advanced mode opens up an additional 2 pages containing Reverb Send, Delay Send, EQ High, and EQ Low, and Portamento On-Off Time, Arpeggio On-Off Type, Arpeggio Gate, Arpeggio Speed. As for DX tracks, the final page contains a variety of parameters that let you customize your own FM synth sounds. This contains FM algorithm, modulator amount, modulator frequency, and modulator feedback. And pressing and holding the button again takes you back to the original mode. Let's take a look at the power of motion recording and favoriting your sounds in SEQTRAK. We'll explore how motion recording allows you to record the movement of parameters, like pitch or pan, into each individual step, and how the favorite feature lets you save and quickly access your go-to sounds in a handy favorite category. First, let's take a look at motion recording. To record knob or slider movements, hold down the record button and turn the knob or use slider. Motion recording is enabled while the record button is pressed, and it begins when you start changing parameters after pressing the record button. Another helpful tip is the undo and redo function. Simply hit this button to erase and recover the last change you made to the values of your sound design and effect settings. Note that undo is one level deep, meaning you can only undo the most recently adjusted parameter. And you can undo and redo sound design parameters and effect parameters, but not sound or effect selection. Saving sounds is another helpful feature. To save a selected sound to the device, press and hold the All knob and then press the Sound knob. You can choose saved sounds by turning the Sound knob. In addition, once saved as a favorite, you can easily choose these sounds using the Category Jump Favorite mode. As for deleting your saved sound, you can do this in the SEQTRAK app. In addition to deeper sound editing with a visual of the parameters you're editing, you can also download additional sounds as sounds are updated. Let's take a look at advanced synth techniques in SEQTRAK, diving deep into creating dynamic synth patterns. In this video, we'll explore bar length, step length, quantization record input enable-disable, and keyboard mode for the synth keys to elevate your sequencing capabilities and unlock your creativity. In this video, we'll cover advanced techniques for the synth and DX track in SEQTRAK. First up, let's adjust the bar length of your synth track. You can set the measure amount to 1, 2, 4, or 8, giving you the flexibility to create complex patterns and arrangements. In addition to bar length, you can also adjust the number of steps in your synth track, allowing for intricate sequences and unique rhythms. Now, let's talk about quantization input. This feature automatically corrects the timing of your performance recording. The default setting is on, but you can adjust it according to your preferences. Finally, hold down the All knob and press the key button to enable keyboard input mode. This turns all of the drum keys into a keyboard and allows you to play a full octave of notes across SEQTRAK. To exit keyboard input mode, hold down the All knob and press the key button again, or simply select a drum track. This allows you to easily switch between different input modes. Let's take a look at selecting built-in preset sampler sounds and importing your own unique sounds into SEQTRAK's sampler track, which allows you to play up to 7 sounds at a time from a vast collection. Discover how to utilize the record sample feature or directly import sounds through the SEQTRAK application for a personalized and creative touch to your music. To start using the sampler track, press the sampler knob. This will select the sampler track and enable you to play and record samples. And you can easily select a new sampler sound as well for individual samples. To cycle through these sounds, simply select a sample on the synth keys and turn the sound knob. This will adjust the sound for the last selected sample. To select a sound category, such as vocal count, vocal phrases, risers, lasers, and many others, hold down the sound knob and press a drum key to select a sound category. There are 7 samples available in the sampler track. To play them, simply press the synth keys. You can also record audio on each of the 7 keys. To do this, select the sampler track and press a key to choose the recording location. Press Record Sample to start recording through the built-in microphone, or connect a cable to Audio In to record from an external source.
1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four.
Note that each sample can be recorded up to 16 seconds. And there are 2 ways the sample recording is stopped. You can either press Record Sample again, or you can simply record for 16 seconds until the sound reaches its limit and the recording is automatically stopped. To change the sampling source to USB, access the SEQTRAK settings and select the USB option. To do this, press and hold the Record Sample button and select the second drum key. To change the sampling source to resampling, access the SEQTRAK settings and select the resampling option. This will sample the audio output playback of the SEQTRAK. To cancel the sampling process, press and hold Delete and press Record Sample.
1, 2.
This will restore the previous state of the sampling key. Please note that this function can only be used during the sampling process and not after it's completed. As for deleting a single sample from a pattern, simply hold Delete and press a single sample key. This will remove the sample from the pattern. Note that this feature is available with version 1.1. Also note that you can add your own samples to SEQTRAK, and you can do this by using the SEQTRAK app. Simply follow the app's instructions to import samples and assign them to the desired keys that you'd like. Let's take a look at sound designing sampler sounds in SEQTRAK, where you can shape and refine your samples to perfection. In this part, we'll delve into the basics of adjusting preset sounds, pitch, pan, and volume, and also explore advanced parameters such as start point, end, attack, and decay time to give your sampler sounds the sonic character they deserve. First, to adjust the sound parameters of your chosen track, turn the sound design knobs. An LED will light up for the selected parameter. For example, sound. Pitch. Pan. Or volume. And you can access more parameters by changing the page of the sound design parameter. To do this, simply press the Page button, and each page shows different parameters for the sampler track. For example, Page 1 contains Sound Select, Pitch, Pan, Volume. And Page 2 contains Attack, Decay, High-Pass Filter and Low-Pass Filter Cutoff Frequency, High-Pass Filter and Low-Pass Filter Resonance. Now, to increase the amount of sound design parameters, press and hold the Page button for 2 seconds. This will open the Advanced Parameters. The Advanced mode opens up an additional 2 pages containing Reverb Send, Delay Send, EQ High, and EQ Low, and additional parameters to edit the start point, end, attack, and decay time of the sample. And pressing and holding the button again takes you back to the original mode. Let's take a look at sample recording techniques in SEQTRAK. In this video, we'll cover using a count-in for on-time recording, monitoring volume levels, and adjusting the normalization settings to ensure a polished result. Here are a few tips to recording samples with SEQTRAK. To make sure you're recording right on time, you can give yourself a count-in. This will provide a metronome-like count before recording begins. simply press and hold the All knob and press Record Sample to enable and disable this. You can also monitor the volume level of the sampling input audio by enabling the monitor mode in the SEQTRAK settings. Hold Record Sample and adjust the volume as needed until it's just right. And last, by default, recorded samples are normalized automatically. If you wish to change this setting, you can do so using the SEQTRAK app. Let's dive into creating a sequence with SEQTRAK's sampler. In version 1.1, you can record your sampler track as a step sequencer. To do this, hold Page and press the Sampler knob to edit the sampler pattern in the step sequencer. Simply press a drum key to write a note into the sequencer. When the LED is lit, this represents a step that will trigger the note on for the sample. Note that any synth key you hit will show the sequence for that selected sample. And to adjust the length of the note, simply hold down the step and turn the All knob. Also note that steps can easily be copied and pasted by holding a drum key for 2 seconds until the step is copied. Then, hold the Page button and press a drum key to paste the settings to a new step. And please note that we cannot copy and paste steps between the sampler track and other tracks, such as drum or synth tracks. And if different effects are chosen for each track, the effect data will not be pasted. And you can do this with patterns as well. Simply hold a pattern for 2 seconds to copy the pattern. And while holding down Page, press the pattern number with the drum key to paste it. Similar to steps, note that we cannot copy and paste patterns between the sampler track and other tracks, such as drum or synth tracks. Let's take a look at using effects in SEQTRAK, a vital component to enhancing your music with depth and character. In this video, we'll explore the effect architecture, master versus single effects, selecting various effect categories and types, and learning how to adjust the effect level using the touch strip for the ultimate control over your sound. Let's explore the effect architecture of SEQTRAK. There are 3 types of effects in SEQTRAK: track effects, master effects, and send effects. Track effects are applied to individual tracks. Master effects are applied to the entire project's master output, and send effects are applied to a return track, which can be mixed with the original signal. To change the selected effect on either a single track or the entire project, use the switch to toggle between master for the entire project and single for a single track. From there, you can adjust the FX knob to select from the available effect categories: filter, reverb, delay, compressor, distortion, modulation, ducker, and other. And there are 8 presets available for each effect category. Additionally, you can apply effects in real time using the touch slider. Simply slide your finger along the strip to control the parameter. A tip is to use the high pass and repeater slider on the master effect for live performance. Note that these 2 operations differ from the first FX level slider, as these 2 sliders are only active when the slider is touched. When you remove your finger from the slider, the effect is disabled. And note that a variety of audio effects can be assigned to each touch slider from the SEQTRAK application, aside from the default settings such as distortion, reverb, and other effects. And to see more effect parameters, you can change the page of the selected effect parameter. Press the Page button to switch between pages. And note that these effect parameters differ between master and single effect being selected. For example, when master is selected, the sliders on page 1 default to controlling the master effects parameter, a high-pass filter cutoff, and a beat repeat. And page 2 allows further parameters of the master effect to be controlled, For example, this can include further detailed parameters for a delay effect such as dry-wet, delay time, and feedback level. And when single is selected, page 1 defaults to controlling the selected track's effect parameter, a high-pass filter cutoff, and a beat repeat for the individual track. And page 2 allows further parameters of the single track's effect to be controlled. To disable the selected effect or reduce its amount, press the Clear FX button. For more advanced control over effect settings, use the SEQTRAK app, which offers additional features and customization options. Let's take a look at the mixer mode in SEQTRAK, an essential tool for achieving balance in your projects. In this part, we'll cover how to utilize this mode to adjust pan, volume, reverb, and delay sends, as well as explore a variety of other effects and parameters to gain full control over your mix. Mixer mode is a handy feature on many digital audio workstations, allowing you to adjust the balance of individual tracks in your project. Let's cover how to use this mode with SEQTRAK. To enter mixer mode, hold down the All button and press Volume Plus. This will activate mixer mode, allowing you to adjust the balance of each track. To exit mixer mode, simply press the Volume Plus button while holding down the All button again. In mixer mode, you can change various parameters for each track, such as pan, volume, reverb, and delay. To do this, press the desired sound knob to select the parameter you want to adjust. For example, from top to bottom, these are pan, volume, reverb send, and delay send. You can use the corresponding track knobs to set the selected parameter for each individual track. Simply turn a track knob, and the selected mixer parameter will adjust for the selected track. For example, if the volume is selected, I can turn the kick knob to adjust the volume of the kick. And the All knob can control these parameters for the entire project. Send effects such as reverb and delay can be customized in mixer mode. When reverb is selected as the parameter, you can choose from various reverb presets by turning the FX knob. And press the dotted button to access an additional page of reverb presets. Same goes for delay and delay presets. Let's take a look at the song mode in SEQTRAK, a powerful tool that enables you to arrange your patterns into a complete song by organizing them into scenes. In this video, we'll demonstrate how to use song mode to create and play back a full song arrangement, bringing your musical ideas to life. To enter song mode, hold down the All button and press Project. This will activate song mode, allowing you to create and arrange your song using scenes. Now, let's talk about scenes. These contain a combination of patterns and mute solo settings. You can add, edit, and delete scenes in song mode. And these scenes are played back automatically in sequential order, creating a full song out of a variety of scenes. To add a scene, choose an empty scene slot by pressing a drum key. You can add up to 16 scenes in song mode. When adding a new scene, the previous scene will be copied. Delete a scene by holding Delete and selecting the drum key associated with the scene. Note that if you delete a scene in the middle of a song, the following scenes will shift to the left, and a currently playing scene cannot be deleted. We can adjust the length of each scene as well. Hold the Page button and turn the All knob to adjust the length of the scene. Note that in version 1.1, the length of the scene can be edited while the sequence is playing back. Also, note that turning the knob to the far left sets the length to Auto, which automatically sets the maximum length of the patterns in the scene. To change scenes while a song is playing, simply press a drum key to select the scene. The scene will change after the current scene reaches its end. You can also loop a scene by double-tapping a scene button while the song is playing. Double-tap the button again or choose another scene to disable the loop. And when the loop is enabled, the step will blink in purple and cyan blue. In version 1.1, the scene mode gives you the freedom to choose any scenes to play at any time. Unlike the song mode, scenes do not need to be played in any specific order. To go from song mode to scene mode, simply hold the All knob and press the project button to change between modes. To play a scene, press Power Play to loop the selected scene, and press a drum key to change the scene. Note that the selected scene lights up in purple and other scenes light up in cyan blue. And to change the scene launch quantization, hold down the project button and turn the All knob. And press and turn the knob to adjust the quantization amount in units of measure. To exit scene mode, hold down the All knob and press Project again. This will scroll through the three modes of normal, song, and scene, so you can keep pressing this until you reach the mode you'd like. Let's take a look at the connections available on SEQTRAK for USB audio and MIDI connections, the essential link that allows seamless integration of the SEQTRAK device with your computer and other instruments. Get ready to unlock the full potential of SEQTRAK's features and creative capabilities by exploring these vital connections. Let's first take a look at the USB audio features. We have a 2-channel in and out at 44.1 kHz and 24-bit. When connecting as a sound source, the device name is SEQTRAK. And note that a driver is required when using a Windows PC. With this feature, you can easily connect your SEQTRAK device to a DAW and record the audio output for further editing quickly and easily. And then, we have the MIDI connections. USB MIDI and MIDI breakout cables are available, and the USB MIDI can act as both a host and a device. And when using the MIDI breakout cables, SEQTRAK will act solely as a host. You can easily connect class-compliant USB devices directly to SEQTRAK. In addition, Bluetooth MIDI connection is available as well. Please note that this function for Bluetooth MIDI is not available for Windows PC. For example, MIDI data can easily be sent to and from the kick track using Channel 1, the snare track with Channel 2, the clap with Channel 3, and so on. And for even more detailed MIDI settings, this can be done using the SEQTRAK application.